Hello and welcome to Benz Addiction. If you have any Mercedes from 2000, from early 2000 to 2010 or 12, let's say, any E-Class, C-Class, CLK class, or even S-Class, keep watching this video. You might have your roof liner or headliner sagging. The fabric might be sagging and you might want to fix this problem. Today's video is going to be two sections. If you need to remove your headliner, keep watching the first half of the video as well. And in the second half, I'm going to work on the headliner itself and replace the fabric and going through the stages of using adhesive to paste the fabric to the headliner. But please note that initially I did this project to only replace my sunroof, as my sunroof was faulty and was stuck. So in my previous video you will find the sunroof video replacement as well. As you can see, the sunroof doesn't look good at all. It's sagging at many locations and it is not looking good, and it's dirty as well. Okay, let's go ahead and take off the sun visors first. Okay, there are two T25 bolts that we need to take off the sun visor. One is at the front, one is in the back. Okay, as soon as you take off these T20 bolts, you can take it off because the wires and the wiring harness is on the clips itself. Okay, I did the same thing for the left hand side. Now I'm going to take off the clips. In order to take the clips, you need to use a small screwdriver, flathead, and open this opening from here to be able to access the T20 torque screw. Okay, after you take the screw, you need to wiggle with this a little bit because there is a little clips over here at the front, so you need to push this like that backwards in order to take it off. And I'm not going to touch this at all because it's going to stay here. Okay, removing the headliner is a massive job, but if you break it into few steps, it only needs some patience. Now we're going ahead to take this ceiling light, and as you can see there is a slot here. Just use your prying tool, plastic prying tool, to take this first, and it's done easily with one hand. And next, two clips over here, one on this side and one on the other side. If you pull these clips towards the mirror at the same time, you then will be able to release the front of the light and bring it down. I can't do this with one hand, I'm just showing you. Just move it forward, both of them at the same time, and pry here, and you will have your light off. Okay, just like that. And it's coming off. All you need to do is now unplug those connectors to take off the light completely. Okay, I pulled all of them off and there was no tab to push on. It just you only need to pull these four connectors. And if you have a look over here, you will see that there is a diagram, because these are color coded and you can use this diagram to later put them back on. Okay, all you need to do for removing mirror is just take it like that and pull it like a man toward yourself. So I'll show you what's happening in the back. So the only thing that is holding the mirror in place is there is this spring in the middle pushing these two things to the sides, and those things get stuck behind that metal kind of aluminium frame at the top. So, and then if you want to completely remove your mirror, there is a connector over here that you need to unplug it. Again, to remove the connector, you only need to pull it, and that's the mirror. And simple as that, we got rid of few things. Next, I'm going to focus on these two front grab handles. Okay, to remove these plastics, you need to pry from the sides and from the front with a flat screwdriver and take this off. And it's easily now done. So there is no bolt or anything, but this is what actually holds these grab handles to the ceilings. Okay, after you remove these two plastic from both sides, basically what happens is, if you look at the clips in the back, so what happens is you can then close the gap over here to be able to remove it, but that's probably not enough because the pressure on these two plastics is too much. And what you need to do next is grab a screwdriver, and from the top, from this hole over here, if you push your screwdriver like that, that would be enough to release at least one of these plastic clips, and that will help you to remove one side, and then with little wiggling and sudden pulling of the grab handle, you'll be able to remove this. Okay, everything is easily removed. The only thing that remains is the C-pillar plastics. So now we need to remove those, and though that is possible with removing that SRS plastic over here. If you remove that SRS plastic, all you need to do is just pry behind this SRS plastic, and there are only two plastic clips, and there is a T20 as usual screw in there. We need to unscrew that. Soon after you remove that T20 screw, you'll be able to slowly release this, and we do the same thing for here. And that was only one clip, as you can see the clip. So on two sides you need to release it like that, and you don't even have to remove this. Next, you need to pry behind this plastic, sunroof plastic at the front of it to be able to remove this, and this is only few clips along the way, so if you pull it toward yourself, you will be able to remove the whole plastic trim. So a few things to mention here. The whole roof liner is held by the front of this alloy bezel from here, and it's also stuck and hold with the same thing over here. Pillar trim is removable by just moving it toward yourself like that. Okay, yes, you need to take off this bracket for the mirror, center mirror, because some of the roof liner is stuck underneath. Okay, after removing this, you will notice that the front of the roof liner is almost released. The only thing that is here, you need to push up on this aluminium piece. So by pushing up this aluminium piece, you will be able to release it gradually. It's actually gripping the roof liner, so if you push it up towards the sunroof, you will notice that you gradually release it, and that releases the roof liner gradually. Get this one released from the sunroof frame. If you release the roof liner from around the sunroof, that will be the 90% of the job. Okay, to remove this rear sensor indicator, you only need to pull it down and just remove these the plug over here, the connector. Okay, we need to take off this rear sensor indicator because there are few double-sided tapes around this area. I would say here. There is one clip over here. So basically, when you finished the front of the roof liner, if you grab the roof liner from this edge and pull it forward, you basically release this edge from here, as you can see. So this edge is released, and that bracket over here is released as well. These are kind of double-sided tapes, I would say, that holds the roof liner. That's no problem. And here is the complete roof liner off, that we're going to have a better view in few seconds. Okay, everything went good and everything is fine except one thing. I was able to remove every single harnesses and connectors from there. There is a little problem over here, and it's all these wires that are using adhesive pasted into the top of the roof liner. And if you follow these wires, which I actually did, and it goes to this area, and it's a very long wire that has no connector to take off, and it goes to the SAM unit, rear SAM unit. So the problem is I can remove the connectors from SAM unit, but it will be very difficult to trace them back, to bring them over from that area to the trunk area. So this is a bit design issue, or I don't know, is it me or is it design issue that there is no connector here to easily remove these 4 wires. There are actually two more harnesses over there on the other side, and the same scenario. So there are 2 ways of dealing with this: removing all these from the top. The glue that is used over here is a very tough glue, and I'm not going to remove all these wiring harnesses. The second way is just cutting these 2 wires from here and 4 small or 3 small wires from here. I think I'm going to use the second method, which is cutting from here instead of removing all these wiring harnesses which are going around the sunroof and in that area. So I'm going to cut this. I have no other choice. Same over here on the right hand side. This is the aerial cable, and this is I don't know, this is another cable that goes to the aerial. This is, I believe, the power to the aerial. So I'm going to cut these, and later on I'll solder and insulate these ones upon installation. So as I said, the only very important point to mention over here is this edge over here is the rear of the sunroof. So you basically have this clip over here which goes into that hole on the roof, and this edge over here which goes into this groove over here on the sunroof. So basically you need to slide your roof liner towards the front of the car to be able to release that. There is no other way. Okay, the roof liner is out. As you can see, it's not in a very good shape. Okay, I'm outside ready for some mess, because this is going to be a little messy, and I'm going to note all the details on this headliner, and I'm going to remove the vanity lights as well as this metal bracket or bezel over here and the other one. Getting ready to take off the old headliner fabric. So probably the good way of removing these metal bezels are just bending the clip from the back and just from one side push it to the other side. Okay, just like that, easily with bending one side of the metal bezel. They're all removed now. Okay, next step is ripping off the old fabric, and that's probably the easiest step to do, but the most difficult step would be to remove all these old sponges off the surface. because of all the material, the sponge, the old sponges which are loose, and you cannot use it anymore. Getting rid of all this loose material means that you're going to use some of these tools, different brushes and different scrapers. If you're using a metal brush, make sure you don't damage the surface of the headliner itself. Using scraper, patience, and different tools, it takes patience and it takes working on this to get rid of this material. So it might take few hours to get rid of all of these, gradually but surely. Okay, and just like that, we got rid of the sponge, the useless sponge for this area pretty easily. 10 minutes using the wire brush, and that looks like to be working pretty well. Okay, this is just half an hour of scraping using wire brush and plastic brush. And as you can see, I would say 95% of the material is off the surface of headliner, so it's almost ready. I just need to spend another 10 minutes of getting rid of the very fine material. So it's not a huge job as I was expecting. It's a bit messy, as you can see, but you can anticipate that and fix that. I'm in an outside environment, so that doesn't really bother me at all. So I'm going to spend another 10 minutes getting rid of everything. I don't want to have any chunk of particles like these, because it's going to show through the fabric, and it's going to affect the adhesion of the fabric to the fiberglass headliner. I'm using some of these wax and grease remover on the surface, trying to clean. This is the very last stages of cleaning up. This makes the surface less sticky from the previous adhesive. Okay, now I'm sure that the surface is free from the larger particles at least, and it's very clean. Okay, preparation is the key. And to do this job effectively, you need some of these metal clips, because you want to start from one side and you want to fix that side. By clipping these clips on the sides, from one side you start, you apply the adhesive and you go from there. Okay, here is the adhesive I'm going to use. Okay, so what we got here after 36 minutes of trying to paste this fabric to the headliner. So obviously, as you can see, there are a few imperfections parts. This one is a empty space. There are a few imperfections, but all in all, it's not too bad. Over here, I'm going to work more on this. It's not going to look like this at all. I have to rework this area because obviously it's deeper. Um, Same as the around the edges, we need to work more, and as we cut the fabric to the length and a bit more, maybe 20 to 50 mil more, we are going to use the adhesive and paste it to the back of the headliner. Okay, this is 2 days later and the adhesive is completely set up, and I have cut the surrounding of the headliner a bit, not much over here and just a little cut in these sections. Next, I'm using these metal clips and adhesive to do these sections. I'm going to spray them the adhesive and tuck them behind. Okay, yes, it takes time and it's tricky. So, uh, and it's not going to be perfect the first time. It takes some time, effort, patience, and need to relax and take it easy and do it gradually, slowly, and step by step. But everything is almost tucked behind for now, most of the things at least. I'm going to leave these as they are, just like a cut only. Yeah, so far so good. Okay, here's the finished product. It's not 100% perfect, but it's 300% better than what it was. It's clean, it's not sagging, it has few maybe tiny wrinkles around the edges, and it's going to be better, I'm pretty sure, soon. Of course, this is a DIY job, it's not a professional upholsterer job, so I'm happy, I'm very happy, and I like it. I like the way it looks, and I'm going to install it back, but I'm not going to include the installation video. So this is the final product. It looks very nice. I love it. And there are, as you can see, few imperfections. At the front, there are few small wrinkles. I think it's okay. This is not a professional job. Uh, this is good enough for me. This looks very nice for the age of the car. It's not professional. I have not spent $2,000 on this headliner. It only costed me about 30 to 40 Australian dollars. And as you noticed, the sunroof shade, I fixed the sagging fabric for this one in a previous video, so I didn't focus on replacing the fabric for the sunroof shade. Also, my A-pillars fabric needs replacement as well, but this is a fairly easy process to do and probably takes only few hours to remove, and just using adhesive to paste the new fabric. And this is one of my plans to be done. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching and liking and subscribing, and please watch my other videos. Thank you and have a great day and enjoy your Mercedes.